I guess there was no introduction. Hello, everyone. This is Joe Soro with the Lakers Fast Break. I am live out of Temecula, California, and the LA Lakers go into the city of brotherly love and win 112 to 108, beating the Philadelphia 76ers in a highly contested four-quarter game. If it sounds like I'm being I don't know, the headlines guy, I'm doing it on purpose. Gerald will be here shortly, guys. I have to open up the show with him. Or I'm sorry, open up the show without him. He's helping John Costa with some stuff at the moment, and he will be here shortly. But I happened to watch the entire game on my way back home from a trip down from San Diego. So this was a treat, honestly, a treat before the end of the evening. You guys know I love my 4:30 games. I definitely love them when they're uh, on a weekend. So this evening was as good as it could get, as good as it could get, and I'm very 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 excited for the fact that they, in games like this, typically the last few years, you kind of go into it thinking, I think they're going to I think this might be a scheduled something. It's just so in just in that mode of loser talk, and I'll admit that it's there, right? And I don't know. I didn't know what to expect, and the fact that they've also lost up until tonight, lost their 7 years in a row. I didn't know what to expect. I had a little bit of a feeling that it was going to be a. Uh, I had a feeling it was going to be a tough one to win, but I saw how they kind of came back in that first quarter and tied it up, and then I started thinking to myself, looks like some things are going on here. And then of course they had a good second quarter, a good third quarter, and then of course the fourth quarter was back and forth. And LeBron towards the end there ended up making some shots that reminded us of who he is and what he's about. And I'm very very excited, very very excited, more than I would be normally in a game in December. Uh, and of course, it being a good day in general, I just think it was one of those grit wins that you love to see a good team win on the road with all the stuff going on. LeBron had just missed the game in Boston. Laker fans weren't too happy about it. I know I wasn't because it's Boston and you want them to go the extra mile for at least that one. Thanks, Jay. Thanks for the props on the hat. That's my man Drip Show. He makes the best gear, makes the best pictures, makes the best posters. If you guys are looking for anything tight, anything good, anything original, you guys want to go see Drip Show. Uh, the Hey Craig, how you doing, bud? I uh, I was able to kind of gauge throughout, kind of going back and forth. I was in my car, in my truck. I was at my sister's place. I ended up getting home at some point. I was also doing some business all in between there, so I missed a couple of things here and there. But I did get the update as I was kind of getting back into the message board areas that I usually go to when things like this happen. And it was what it was one of those games where kind of both teams were maybe not shooting well. Was it the defense? I'd have to kind of go back because a lot of times when I first watch a game, like most of us, I'm not paying attention to the sets as much. I usually end up kind of figuring out more things on the second view. So usually when I do a show, especially when the early games are on, I'll end up, by the time the show's over after an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll end up going back to my living room, and then the game is back on. The replay's back on after Access Sportsnet is done, and then I'll start kind of looking, not maybe the entire game. I won't watch the entire game all the time, but I'll end up seeing the sets. I'll end up seeing the defense. I'll end up seeing the offensive decision making, and you'll start to get an idea of kind of what was going on. Um, what was cool about tonight's game, and I know it's going to sound weird, but the fact that Reeves struggled tonight and they still won showed you a lot. It shows you a lot. Not every night you're going to have somebody like Reeves dropping 30 a game. I think we're getting spoiled with Austin Reeves, in my opinion. Uh, He has absolutely overshot anything that you would have ever expected from this guy. And he was likely the only guy that kind of came to play a little bit in the Boston game. But tonight, his shot was just not falling. It just wasn't. And I saw some good defensive sets pretty much consistently all game. I would say I'm going to check it out again after the show. But I would like to think in the few sets that I saw on defense, I thought he played pretty well. I think he stood his ground really well. A lot of these guys are good athletes. You know, Edgecombe, Maxey, these guys are studs, you know, stud athletes. And I thought, yeah, YYC. I think AR was tired. Now, tired. It's interesting that you said the word tired. When Gerald gets back in here and I can kind of collect my thoughts and we get past the preliminaries of what this game was, I saw some things today in the NFL that eerily sounds similar to what's been going on in the NBA. And what it made me realize is that maybe this issue with injuries is not tied to basketball, because obviously in football, they're not doing what an NBA player is doing game in and game out. So it just kind of hit me. It kind of hit me. Daniel Jones, for those of you who don't know, quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts, tore his Achilles. And I'm sitting here going, what's going on here? And like the Achilles is being shredded in all sports at this point. Football, basketball. I mean, what is going on? Like what that's not hardwood for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, going back and forth, bending and stretching and dunking and all those things. So what is it? What is it that's going on with these athletes training and their recovery, or what they're eating, or whatever kind of flexibility, quote unquote, stuff that they're doing? I think it's safe to say that this is not a basketball problem anymore. But I'll get into that more when Gerald gets on here, so I can kind of, again, collect my thoughts. I haven't had a chance to kind of outline anything here. I have to jump into this right away because Gerald had to take care of something for John Costa. John Costa had an unfortunate mishap outside the studio, and Gerald's kind of filling in for him, and then I'm filling in for Gerald. So I was basically going from house to road to business to my house, and as soon as the game ended, which was literally right when I was coming into the house, I had to get on to the show right away. So that's where I'm at on that. So the shoes, again, we'll talk about that too. I don't think it's the shoes, Craig. It could play a part, but football players are wearing high tops. They're wearing low tops. They're not. Football players, especially quarterbacks, are not doing what NBA basketball players are doing. So it's becoming something where now it's getting a little fishy. There's something going on with either the diets or whatever workouts that are popular now that are possibly creating this. I don't know any other reason. Doesn't make any sense to me. So we'll get into that a little bit more. And I think it was important to talk about it, because I think when you see an epidemic now with these lower leg injuries, you got to figure out a problem. You got to figure out a solution. So when you look at the Tommy John surgeries, the tendon that busts for the pitchers, well, what they've done with that is a lot of these guys are getting that surgery even before they even have a problem, just so that they don't have a problem later. And why is that? There's a reason for that, and I'm going to explain that so that it kind of correlates with what's going on with the NBA player that can't play every day, right? The baseball players, the pitchers, now over the last 10, 15 years, it's developed into every team now wants to pitch like Nolan Ryan, because there was always this response from the old timers. I would be considered an old timer, but I pay attention to what's going on. Most of the old timers that are complaining don't watch 90% of the stuff I watch and aren't really educated in it. They're usually pretty ignorant about it. But what you have is Nolan Ryan, guys like Rob Dibble back in the day, those guys that threw heat. They were one of maybe 5 or 6. One of maybe 5 or 6. Maybe 5 or 6. If I just said Rob Dibble and Nolan Ryan, I actually do not remember anyone else that threw heat like those guys. I have to actually kind of remember a little bit. I have to go back deep into my baseball memory to remember who the other guys were that could throw 98, 99, 100. Very few guys did that for years. If you were able to do that, which was very few, you are looking at somebody that's very unique. Now, Nolan Ryan was a combination of two things. Number one, he was that freak that could throw 100 miles an hour, and he also would be able to handle it. Those guys don't exist. Those guys don't exist all the time. They just don't. Orlando's Chapman, maybe you can say his career, but see, he's a relief pitcher. Nolan Ryan was a starting pitcher. So nowadays, baseball has 1, 2, maybe 3 guys in their bullpen and their starters that can throw 100. So imagine that. It goes from, let's just say, 3 in the entire Major League Baseball to now you have at least 3 guys in each team that could do it. So what is that? 30 teams in the majors? You have 90 guys doing it. Well, analytics added to that, them knowing where the ball's going to be likely, 1, 2, 3 over through the lineup, and all that stuff plays a part in that. So, Randy Johnson, thank you, Craig. Appreciate it. Although I just never saw him throw 100. I know he has, but he was more. I always felt Randy was more. He could get his spots really well, and they were usually sitting at 98. But anyways. Tonight's game, to get back to the Lakers and to get back to rest versus rehab. Tonight, you had Luka Doncic come from a 2-game hiatus due to his newborn baby. Congratulations, by the way. And then you had Austin, who's been playing this entire time, who ran out of gas a little bit here. And then you have LeBron James, who kind of brought out a LeBron James that we hadn't seen in a while. LeBron James was not only effective tonight, but he was clutch. And he only played 34 minutes. Luka Doncic played 39. Austin played 39. Rui played 36. DeAndre Ayton played 31. And I'm going to say this right now, guys. If those minutes are what is what to come, is what's coming, that is going to help LeBron in the long run. He played a little bit more than I would like him to. I'd like him to sit at that 29, 30 range. But in games like this, when you need him, it's okay to play another 5 minutes. But if they're playing the New Orleans or they're playing the Indianas, they're playing the Charlottes, those guys, they need to make sure that LeBron's time is allocated to not being too rigorous. But it was really, really nice seeing the Lakers break this 7-year itch, which was losing in Philly. Finally broke it. Joel Embiid had one of his worst games. Usually Joel Embiid punks our asses pretty badly. Tonight was the worst game I've seen him play against the Lakers. He couldn't make a shot to save his life. Made a couple of shots here and there towards the end there, but the Sixers looked like Sixers looked like they were tired. Looked like they were a bunch of rookies playing actually. So Maxey was effective. I mean, he sort of kind of got his numbers, but I didn't feel like he ever really took over the game. There was a little bit of a start with Paul George hitting some shots, and then Paul George went back to being Paul George. So if Paul George's not going to go off, Joel Embiid's not going to go off, and then you have Tyrese Maxey, who did drop 28, but it wasn't like he didn't hit the key shot in these tough moments in the fourth quarter or in the third quarter when they were sort of making a run. A lot of times those are empty numbers. Those are empty points. He's getting them when the Lakers are up 10 and he's dropping 2, 3, right? Like when they're up or they're down 10 and they're only, when they're down 10 and then it gets to 7, maybe he'll make another shot down by 5, and then all of a sudden the Lakers will make another shot or 2, and then it goes back up again. Tonight was a very, very healthy December win on the road. Right now they're 2-1 on the road. I think we've discussed that if the Lakers come back from this road trip 4-2, which there is a addition in between there, right? They got to play the San Antonio Spurs, and I'm hearing that the Giraffe is back or will be back in time for this next game on Wednesday. The Lakers at least have a couple days off, but they're going to play San Antonio for the quarterfinal division, the quarterfinal game in the NBA Cup. So that's where that is. If they win that, then you're looking at them obviously continuing their NBA Cup aspirations. If they lose, it and I you know me guys, I don't like to lose, but if they do lose this game, then they don't have to worry about playing an extra game. And that's how I'm looking at this situation. I don't want them to quit. I want them to win. I want them to win every game, even if it means playing an extra game. But if they don't win on Wednesday, at least we know now they're done with the NBA Cup and they can focus on the rest of the regular season, which the next game is going to be in Utah for what was it on Friday? Let me see the schedule here. Oh no, it's the next day. No, I'm sorry. It's oh, oh, that's how the schedule goes. Okay. So they play on Wednesday, and if they lose, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Do they have a loss that's left? This is it. If they lose this, they're out. If that's the case, again, that's how much I care about the NBA Cup. If they lose, they're out, and then they have like a week off. So that's good. They have a week off. Then they got to play in Utah, come back and play LA a couple days later, and then they have a 2-day break to go to Phoenix, and hopefully they can get some small revenge in Phoenix for the last dud that they played in LA. So let me see here. I'm getting some posts here. Hey Joe. See. Hey Joe, every Lakers opponent always gets healthy in time for that's a because it's a showcase, guys. They want to showcase their skills in front of the biggest crowd. So you heard, if you were listening to the game, you could hear the crowd cheering almost half the time because you had Laker fans all up and down Philly, right? And I couldn't tell sometimes. I'd hear when I had my face kind of away from the phone or the TV, I would be hearing cheers, and I'm like, shoot, that Phillies scored, right? I'm Phillies, Sixers score, and I'm going, oh wait, oh it was LeBron who scored. Being a Laker fan, I think we all know that there's never likely been a better, and it's not really a traveling fan base. It's just that there's Laker fans everywhere. It's not traveling. People in LA are not traveling to Philly to watch the Lakers unless you're wealthy and you're retired or something like that. But it's people in every city and every state that are Laker fans that cheer for them, and of course they're going to go to those games, especially in the East Coast, where they're only going to see him that one time during the year, unless they meet in the finals or something. But yeah, I wasn't on edge, but I always seem to not enjoy the game as much, and I actually caught myself thinking that. I was like, Joe, why don't you enjoy this game for once? Okay, you just saw one of the most nerve-wracking, life-consuming, life-ending, shortly series of your life in the World Series. Why don't you just enjoy a December game? Lakers are in Philly. It's a popular quote-unquote rivalry in the history of the NBA, and the guys are both doing good things. Some guys are making shots, some guys are missing shots, some guys are hitting free throws, some guys are not, and a back and forth. Let's enjoy this thing. So uh it's been a good evening, one way or the other, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Gerald, uh for joining us. And
Oh no,
you may
thank you, man.
you may commence.
No, I appreciate it, my friend. I get the
I
big
can't
thank
hear you,
you.
G.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me now? Can you hear
No.
me now?
Or maybe
Oh,
it's just me. Sorry.
hold on. Yeah, because I'm
I'm
getting
sorry. That
some.
was me. That was me. Sorry. Sorry.
Thank you for opening up because I had to cover for John. The Lakers community, when something goes awry for someone in the Lakers community, we got to back each other up. And Joe, I cannot thank you enough for backing up me today, like I helped back up John. And all my thoughts and prayers are with him right now. Hopefully, things will get better for him. I know something went through as far as the situation. So, hopefully he'll be able to upload the 3-minute report I recorded for him, and I'm wishing him all the best. But yes, Sammy, I'm just gonna say this: I'm glad to have spry LeBron. This is the spry LeBron that we need in the playoffs, Joe. The question is, what does JJ and the coaching staff need to do to find this spry LeBron in the playoffs and not just on December 7th, 2025, Joe?
This is a unique scenario. So LeBron was able to do what he did tonight only playing 34 minutes. That right there to me is a very good sign, and that was with Austin struggling tonight. This was Austin's first really bad game this year. So again, props to Austin for kind of playing all year well, and then he finally hit a dud tonight.
Yeah. He
But
was tired. You could see he was
yeah,
tired.
he was tired, and
yeah.
I had mentioned, I don't know if you were listening to the show, but there's something going on in sports right now with injuries, especially lower leg injuries, and I'll get into that a little bit more when you start to kind of go through your dialogue, because I think it's something we need to start looking into. And I don't think, and I realize it's not just a NBA thing. I think we've been assuming it's an NBA thing, but I have never seen. I remember Dan Marino. Dan Marino tore his Achilles in 1993,
Mm-hmm.
and he recovered after a year and had a pretty good year actually in '94. My memory, and there's definitely been somebody. I'm not saying there isn't somebody in the '90s that tore their Achilles, but that's the only memory I remember of a football player tearing his Achilles. Now, I feel like we're getting a guy tearing an Achilles in football almost every month.
Yeah.
So something is going on with the training. Something might be going on with the nutrition. I don't think it's the nutrition. I think it might be the training. I don't know. I think it's something that needs to be investigated. I don't know if there is anybody to do it. I'm not a certified trainer. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to approach it other than maybe as a journalist. I'm not a journalist either, but there needs to be some looking into what's going on with these guys' lower half. Why are they tearing up their lower half? And maybe there's a way to figure out if there's a solution to it, and then maybe we don't have all these lower leg issues in the NBA and football and all these quote unquote load management situations.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, because we're seeing how many calf strains are we seeing in the league right now, Joe? And they're trying to connect the dots between the calf strains and these Achilles injuries, Joe. And that seems to be why that they're out so many weeks, is because they're worried about it progressing to what we saw with with Halliburton and with also as well with Jason Tatum, because Halliburton had been complaining about a calf strain and it led into a Achilles with him. So obviously they're erring on the side of caution, but I have never seen these injuries, which normally these guys in the past would have played with, be to this level and to this extent. It's frustrating and it's concerning all at the same time.
So there's this back and forth on, is it too much work when they're younger? Are they not developing their legs correctly? Because
Like the AAU level and all that.
correct. Now, the AAU level has been around for years. I never thought that was the problem, but what I had heard years ago was years ago, as in like 5-6 years ago, is they said there's too many kids not playing more than one sport. They're playing one sport, and their bodies aren't using different muscles and different different muscles and different mechanics in those games. So growing up, we played football, basketball, and baseball. If you didn't play basketball, you wrestled. If you didn't play baseball, you golfed. You whatever, right? Like they played soccer. Some played soccer and football in the same season, right? So fall, winter, spring, it was always, the quintessential sports for most of the people that I was around was football, basketball, and baseball. Well, you played all year round. You played sports all year round, and then of course you took the summer off, and you had different mechanics and different ways you had to use your muscles and how you moved around in those sports. When Michael Jordan came back in 1995, one of the things that his trainer and him discussed in The Last Dance is his body was conditioned to play baseball, conditioned to play basketball. That's why there was a lot of struggle and a stamina issue when he came back during the playoffs, ended up losing to Orlando in 6. And then, of course, when he trained that summer, that offseason, to get to that spot where he's like, now I'm in basketball mode, he was a freaking maniac. You couldn't stop him. Because I can't understand overworking is not. It doesn't make sense to me. So here's where it doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm veering off the game a little bit, guys, but I think it's important to kind of set the stage here for this a little bit because I think it's something that we're going to be talking about more later. But let me get this in, and then we'll get back to the game. But there were times where they were practicing all the time, right, Gerald? In the NBA, they were practicing all the time. So just replace the fast-paced game in the game, and then you don't have practice. So the activity has been, let's say, leveled off at that point. So what is it really that? You're playing just as hard. I used to hear Kobe and Jordan, all those guys say we played harder in practice because games needed to be easier.
Yeah.
So I think there's something in the training, maybe as they're growing up. I also think there's a mentality tied to it too. I don't think guys are listening to their bodies enough. There's a lot of little things here and there that just kind of made me think. As soon as I saw Daniel Jones look at his slam the floor, and I felt so bad for him. He slammed that ground and you knew right away he tore his Achilles. You could just there's no one that's going to slam that thing the way he did and not think, oh my God, what the hell? No, you knew it. He tore it. So now it just hit me. I'm like, dude, there's a problem with these guys and their training and their ability to recover, their activities. What is going on here? And this needs to be looked at a little bit more so that we can avoid these horrible endings to these games in basketball. Halliburton tearing an Achilles cost the Indiana Pacers a championship, in my view.
Mm.
That's a sad way. Durant tearing an Achilles cost the Warriors a three-peat. These are catastrophic losses. Maybe not to the Lakers, because the Lakers have been prominent, but how often are you going to have a chance to three-peat? How often is Indiana, the Pacers, going to have a chance to win a championship? They're probably never going to win a championship in the next 10 years now. That was their chance. That was their one chance. So that's where I'm at with that.
So again, as I said earlier, Joe, I really, really think that if there's any way for the Lakers to go far in the playoffs, this is the kind of LeBron that they need. But the question is, it looks great in December, but how do you get this LeBron to look that good come April?
Well, LeBron was out. Yeah, LeBron was out virtually 20% of the season. So, the beginning, 15 games. That's a lot. Basketball already, for a healthy, virile person, they need to get into basketball shape. Oh, and by the way, you also need to get into NBA basketball shape.
Yeah.
NBA basketball shape is I could maybe a level below soccer. Maybe even. It depends on. I think soccer's maybe a little bit more in terms of running. They have to run nonstop for 90 minutes, back and forth, stop and go, right? Basketball, maybe because the area is a little smaller, I would say it's less taxing. But you're asking LeBron James at 41, you said, to not play for 15 games in the highest grade of basketball on the planet. And then you want him to just come and play at 41 years old. That's not very realistic. And he needed some time to get himself going. And he finally did tonight. And what was great about tonight was that this is what we need LeBron to be tonight. Absolutely tonight at the end of the year. The great ones always throw a couple of old-time games when they're advanced. We don't know if that was one of those games yet. However, let's say it wasn't. Let's say LeBron finally caught his breath, finally was able to get a little bit of momentum on his side to where he's like, all right, cool. I am finally kind of back to NBA shape. It's been a while now. It's been a few weeks now. Great. If that's the case, then it's even more imperative to make sure that you preserve that man so that he has to be, and I say this and I'm going to say it loud, he has to be the second best player on this team. I'm sorry, Austin. You're fantastic. You might even make an all-star team, but he cannot be the second best player on the Lakers when the chips are at its highest. It's got to be LeBron James. And I would even say he has to be the 1A. He can't be even the 2 if they want to win it. And I'm basing it off of this roster, not if they improve at the deadline, if they bring in a wing defender, if they bring in another shooter that's playing lights out, then at that point you're figuring out how that's going to play out. But I still think they obviously need that. I think if they can get a wing defender somehow before the deadline, that's just going to enhance this sucker. It's exciting.
There's some comments that Lake Show has left for you. I don't think you'll take too kindly of it when you see them, Joe.
Lake Show?
If you look at Lake
Is that
Show
a new guy?
1993, I think so.
Bozo injuries have gone up because we are getting faster, just like with baseball. Tommy John surgery happened way more often than before, and that's because they throw harder now than before. Didn't I say that at the beginning of the show?
I think you did.
Maybe you came in late, Lake Show. Next time when you open your asshole, make sure you have it pointed away from your mouth so it doesn't get confused with this or this or this. Okay? I use that example. I think you might have came in a little late.
Once again, it is the Lakers with the victory, 112-108. They're 17-6, still second place in the Western Conference. And here today to go ahead and help us out, great man indeed. It is, of course, my good friend Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Legend, great to have you here, my friend. Lakers escaped with a victory in Philadelphia, and I'll tell you what, it was great to see on a day that Austin Reaves was struggling. Luka coming back from Slovenia. I was wrong, guys. I thought he was here in the States. No, they had their second child in Slovenia. So he flies from Slovenia, comes back for the triple-double. Although, again, you know, a lot of people are still like Nick T. He's not happy with the way everything was. It worked out with Luka. But again, 31-point triple-double for Luka. And, of course, LeBron turning back the clock. My friend, Legend, what are your thoughts when you see LeBron turn the clock back like this? You got frisky LeBron today. How could a frisky LeBron be for this team if he plays like that later on this season, continuously?
It would be game changing. It would be a lot of love. Like Joe said, if you are seriously planning on preventing Oklahoma from getting back to the finals the way it's looking like, he has to play that way. Like Joe said, hey, no offense to Austin, he been balling. That guy need to be your second best player. Is that a good thing for 41 to be your second best player? Probably not what you want, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. He has to play like that. He needs to play like that if this is gonna try to go somewhere. But man, hey, he rewind the clock. He looked good. I didn't get to watch it there because I've been listening to all the college football stuff. But from what I heard and saw, he looked good. They said he balled out, and that's good. That's a good thing for Lakers fans to see him slowly coming back. I want to see a little bit more of that just to see is he, really back, or is it kind of like spot on and all. I want to see that part. But he showed up when you need him, and he did his thing, especially when Austin had an off night.
Hey, G, you're on mute.
I say you muted.
Frisky LeBron coming back after a couple of days absence. Sorry, I was on another screen. I will say this again, Joe. This is the kind of LeBron you want, but I don't know how many times this season we're going to get him. That's the thing. I can't rely on it because you saw last season we had where, it was good LeBron, and then there was old LeBron games. I enjoyed the fact that we saw it tonight. I'm just not sure how much of it we're going to get.
I wouldn't worry too much about it and let it play out. You're not going to get LeBron hitting threes left and right in succession. That's for sure. But you could get LeBron if he's playing good minutes, healthy minutes. You could get LeBron going to the basket. You could be seeing what LeBron and AR were doing towards the end of the game, which was pick and rolling the Sixers out of oblivion. Those type of things are what LeBron is good at. He's going to make the right. He's going to make that pass when you need it. He's been really good since he's been back, not making stupid passes. Matter of fact, Luka was making some dumb passes at the beginning of the game. It's driving me nuts. But then he kind of cooled off. I think JJ might have gotten to him and said, hey, listen, dude, you don't need to throw it. You're not throwing the Shaq. This is with all due respect to DeAndre Ayton. This isn't Shaq. Or even AD. AD would catch those things because he's a freaking skyscraper. But DeAndre Ayton, God bless him, he doesn't have that kind of athleticism. But again, props to him too. I think DeAndre Ayton had a solid game tonight. And when you have a center that can place 36 minutes and score 17 points, hold his own, and give you a presence down there, and he's not a guy that you need to feed to get stuff out of, that's a huge win, guys. That's a huge win. And how this is going to play out with LeBron, that'll be the mystery, and that'll be, I guess, the excitement to see where it goes. I'm not going to say I didn't expect him to somehow come back and play LeBron at 41 basketball, which we don't know what that is. He's kind of creating the history as he's going. But if LeBron is effective, doesn't have to shoot from three again in Ray Allen mode, right? If he is playing high IQ basketball, LeBron dropping 12 of 17 from the field, and doing that only in 34 minutes and only having a couple turnovers, dude, that is exactly what this team needs, because Luka's going to do what Luka does. Luka is going to be he's going to be high 20s, 30, 9-9 all year. He could go take a sabbatical for a month. He'll come back and still do that. I mean, tonight was like a hello, sorry for being gone as long as I did. He didn't even shoot well tonight. If he had shot well tonight, he would have dropped 50. He would have had a 50, 15, 11 game tonight if he had been making a couple shots. However, he's shooting 81% from the free throw line. That is huge. I was begging him to get to the 80s. I didn't like the 75, 76% Luka. He hit 11 of 13. And they had a shitty night tonight hitting the free throws too. This game might have not been as close if they didn't miss 10 free throws. I think if they had made 5 more, I don't think you would have had this problem, because
but they did hit him down the stretch when
they did. And Luka, and a little bit of me, and again, this is just me because I like the preparation now in December, if you can get that going. When he got fouled to shoot the 2 free throws to seal the game, I was actually happy it happened. Because I wanted Luka to get that feel. Luka, you got to hit these 2 so you can end the game right here. You don't want to hit 1 or 2, and then you got to deal with some asshole like they did. I don't know, was it Maxey that hit that 3 after 14 freaking offensive rebounds?
Yes.
I hate those kind of. It always reminds me of Jason Richardson before Artest hit that putback when Kobe was guarded by 4 guys in the playoffs. But that's how the NBA is, man. That's the shit that happens on a regular basis now. That's not a freak occurrence like it used to be. These guys are going to hit those threes balancing out like freaking, like a ballerina and making those shots. So you got to be.
Celtics game. Did you see how many bounces went the way of the Celtics during that game?
It was difficult to watch that game because it was them. They hit 24 threes, which is all they do. That's all that team does. And the culture of basketball is that, but that's all those guys do. Hell, there was a play in tonight's game. It was 4-on-1. 4-on-1. 4. Not 3, not 2. 4-on-1. And they didn't score. They didn't score on Luka, of all people. It wasn't like it was DeAndre Ayton just standing there. It was Luka. They couldn't score because they actually probably hallucinated that, are we going to shoot a 3 or are we going to go to the basket? They didn't know what the hell they were doing. Hilarious. It was hilarious. They couldn't come back and score either. But again, I thought that play was funny. It was kind of indicative of what the NBA has become. I think if Stu was doing the color tonight, by the way, props to Michael Thompson. Tonight, anytime I hear Michael's voice, I get very happy because he bridges so many things, because he's a bright light, just like Magic Johnson is, like James Worthy and all those guys. So But I'm not liking that Stu's been missing games. I'm kind of starting to get worried a little bit. But that's
you know, it's some point in time.
I know. I know. But it was. I was saying before you got on, G. It was a very entertaining game.
Yes.
And early, entertaining. Sunday for me, my Steelers won today. So the evening and the afternoon have been very good to me.
And I know that for Legend, he's been eyeing the college football scene. What's going on with the college football playoffs? Oh, let me shed a tear for Notre Dame. But then
I've been laughing all day about that. That's been funny about
they beat USC, so I can't really be too get on them too much. But yeah. Oh well.
Well, the comedy in that is this is the comedy. By the way, props to Legend for predicting the two. What would I call them, Legend?
G5s.
G5s. So props to Legend. He got in on our chat before it became official, and I actually almost messaged you, Legend. I almost said, "Did you find something out behind the scenes?" Because my natural Power 5 mind came in, and then as soon as I said it, I actually regretted it, but I didn't say anything. I'm like, wait a minute, does Legend know something that I don't know? It was too like confident for not to be what it was, and it was exactly that when I saw the final bracket. So props to you on that. And anyone. We had a BCS two team playoff, right? Or let's say decision. People bitched about that. Then they made it a 4. People bitched about that. Before then, they were bitching about, oh, well, these guys got to play in the Rose Bowl and they can't play in the Cotton Bowl. They can't play in the Fiesta Bowl before that. And then now, after 12 teams, we're not playing a bowl game. Hey, we should have been the 12th team. Really, Notre Dame? Really? Do you really think you would have won a national championship? Really? I mean, what are we going to do here? Are we going to do what Gerald wants and have a 48 playoff team so we can finally get rid of the bowl games?
Because we're going to get a whole bunch of bad bowl games here in the next couple of weeks, Joe. And you're going to rue the day that happens.
Because I just saw what my university going to play against for.
So I'm going to use a line. I'm going to use a very popular line. Notre Dame, no one screwed Notre Dame. Notre Dame screwed Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame, out of all the teams to bitch and whine about being screwed, how many times has college football catered to Notre Dame? And the reason why they cater to Notre Dame is because they're Notre Dame and because there's a following and there's a history. But really, what were you going to do? You're not going to beat Georgia. You're not going to beat Indiana. You're not going to beat Ohio State. I don't even know if you'd be able to beat Oregon. So who are you going to beat? Oh, you want that extra money? Okay, I get it. But, dude, you've been getting extra money your entire existence, man. You're 100+ year, well, more than that in terms of football. You're a 100-year, century, iconic, I was going to say franchise, program. The one time you don't get what you want, this is how you do it? Come on, man. And believe me when I say this, I'm not mad at you for not playing a bowl game. Those things are useless, and they've always been useless to me. I don't want to watch the Alamo Bowl, okay, between NC State and Oregon State. I don't give a shit about the Alamo Bowl. I had that discussion so many times with people at Oregon State, at NC State. Well, what is, like, are you guys excited right now? Like, I don't get college football when it comes to that. Like, I never did. Even in the 90s, I go, you guys are like, are you going to go outside and go, we won the Alamo Bowl. Yay. Is that what you do? Well, no, Joe, it's not about that. It's about the kids and having the chance to win something. I'm like, isn't that like Gaylord Fokker winning like the 12th place?
Well, that's exactly
ribbon?
why I talked about it widening the field for the college football playoff.
But Gerald, are you going to make these kids play 17, 18, 19 games to win a championship?
It's not
It's
like
too
they're going to
much.
school.
It's too
many,
much.
baby. Too many.
It's too much, man. It's too much. No,
It's
if
not
you
like they're
said,
studying.
I'll
They
tell you
just
what.
go
I'll
from
give you.
one
I'll
school to the other with
compromise.
the
I'll
NIL.
compromise. I'll compromise. I'll compromise for you. Make it a cap of 10 regular season games and then a conference title game. Make it at 11, and then you can play 6 or 7 playoff games if you want.
Okay.
There you go.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'm thinking about the kids, man. I mean, really, seriously, they're going to be playing football until February? Come on, man.
If the NCAA had their way, yeah, if it meant for them for more money,
That's
absolutely.
yeah, and it's dumb to think about it, and it's dumb to implement it. I don't. It's too much. I think college football should stop honestly at 14 at the most. They shouldn't play more than 14 games, in my view. 13 is actually better because 12 is perfect. You play 12 games, and then the championship is the 13th game.
Well, let's get back to the game with the Lakers that a lot of people want to hear. It is the Lakers game of 112 to 108. Although I would love
Where's
to have
Where's that clown that keeps yapping? I'm still waiting. Is that the same dipshit that was here the last time?
No, I think it's a new one.
Okay, he used the same words that the other idiot said. Hey, you want to yap? You want to go one-on-one with the great one? Gerald will send you the link. I want to hear your shit.
I think he's gone though.
He's gone. They're always gone. They're always gone when they get called out.
Brad Stevens was in the chat too, and yeah, he kind of left as well. But Legend, let me get
it
back to you.
Was Brad Stevens talking shit too?
I think so, apparently, but I don't know because it was deleted. That's what I was looking at earlier when I was watching on the air. Legend.
So Joe is on. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up. It goes to show you this guy doesn't even know who we are. Joe is on when Lakers win, but is nowhere to be found when Lakers lose. Really?
Uh-oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
So, how many games have I missed this year, Gerald?
2 or 3.
2 or 3. How many losses do we have?
6.
So, I missed 2 out of the 6. So, I was there for 4 of them.
His epic rants, guys, are when the Lakers lose.
Our best shows are when the Lakers lose.
Our best ratings are when the Lakers lose. Simply because of the fact that he'll start yelling and ranting when the Lakers lose.
Lake
show's back. He called you a bozo again.
Bozo, yeah. Well, come on, and tell me virtually to my face I'm a bozo. Tell me why you're not a bozo.
So JY, I want to go ahead. Let me bring this to Legend. I forgot Paul George was in the game.
I forgot too after 10 minutes.
Yeah, until I saw the world's oldest as far as pick and roll between him and Andre Drummond, where Andre Drummond got the lob. I forgot that he was actually in the game and still back and healthy, because that tells you all you need to know where Paul George is at this point in his career. He looks like he's just lost. Between Maxi's rise as a player, Embiid, you still have to check out there, but Embiid with his knees does not look like anywhere near the same player. Okay, we talk about LeBron and how he does not look like LeBron, except for today, Legend. What do you think about Embiid and George, especially because Embiid looks like a shell of himself, and George doesn't even look like he's there at all?
It sounds like similar to LeBron, the age part is kicking in, and it sounds like you can tell the end is coming. George, I almost forgot he in the league, honestly, because just ain't heard nothing about him. Like I about forgot about him. But
his accountant knows he's still in the league.
Oh, yeah, he made me
worth. Yes.
But it's just, I think the age kicking in, and I think this is almost kind of how I thought with LeBron. It's the end of the era. You're getting moving to the new era. You can tell it. This is Tyrese Maxey's team at this point, and it's probably time to start building that team around Tyrese. I think they got a superstar out of Tyrese. It looks like they got something coming out of him. They need to start building the team more so around him and start focusing the attention off of Paul. At this point, you just can't expect a lot from Paul George, and kind of the same thing with Embiid, honestly. I don't know when he's gonna be healthy. I don't. At this point, you'd be almost like Zion, pretty much the same thing. You don't know what you're gonna get from either one of them. So it's almost like maybe you want to consider making some moves, honestly, and just start rebuilding his team around Tyrese Maxey at this point and move off of those two. But I really have forgotten all about Paul George. I about forgot he was in this league.
Paul George and Joel Embiid tonight, 7 of 29 shooting, to tell you guys. And Joel Embiid, I mean, 0 of 6 from 3. He just looks like an afterthought. And before you go off on Lake Show again,
well, he's a liar. I'm starting to get his shtick, so I'm not even going to respond. I'll let the moderators deal with him.
The thing
if you're gonna call me a name and then you come with good info, that's a different story. But if you say that I said things that I didn't say, now you're gonna be gone, because now you're a piece of shit liar. I hate liars. I hate liars. And I'm not talking about the guys that lie to the telemarketers on the phone. I'm talking about the liars that are saying that I said that LeBron is selfish, especially when I said, and it's on tape, that he passed to Rui in the Toronto game because that's Rui's spot, and everyone basically left LeBron to shoot a mid-range, and he said, nah, I'm going to draw him over just enough so that they can kind of think about that he might get to the basket, threw it to Rui and hit a game-winning shot. That was that play. That for that day, LeBron made that play for that day. Everybody else wanted to think about all the other things that he's done in the history of his life. I'm like, can we just focus on what he was thinking in that game? Oh, he always makes the right play. Okay, that's stupid. That's a stupid response. I never liked that. The right play is making the shot, and when you're an all-time great, when you're in the GOAT decision, the right play is getting the ball in the basket, whether you're giving it to somebody to make it or whether you're doing it. Now, more often than not, the star player is supposed to do it because he's the star. He's the GOAT. Well, in his case, this was a John Paxson situation with Michael. This was Kobe, Derek Fisher situation. As long as that ball goes in, it's the right decision. Now, if he doesn't make it, let's just throw that out there. I'm sitting back going, all right, he gave Rui the shot. The way they were playing defense, he's not going to hit that. He wasn't hitting. That game, he couldn't make a shot. And he wasn't going to be able to get to the hole without interference. So what now? Yeah, there you go. Now everybody learned something today.
He is not sleeping, guys. He is looking down at his...
They did that to me years ago. Remember, Gerald? Remember when I was doing this?
Football, so I'm in and out.
If he's looking down at his phone, it looks like he's sleeping, but he's not. I swear. Legend, they just.
Hey, I'm not feeling hurt. Get on the phone. Get on the show, and I'll show you hurt. I will clown you in front of everybody, but you don't want to show your face. Come on, bozo. Put your little nose thing on and get on here. I'll wipe the floor with your ass. What are you going to do then?
These guys are crazy tonight, guys. Once again,
you're Drake, and you know who I am.
Are you going to go parading around at halftime of the Super Bowl as well?
Well, I thought it was funny that, because people are wretched human beings most of the time. I'm watching the Super Bowl. This was the recent Super Bowl, and Kendrick Lamar, I thought is as talented as anybody can be, and he's got songs, and he's not one of these guys that's overly sexual and disgusting or have some stupid political thing going on. This guy put on a show, and I'm like, damn, this is cool. It's like the first halftime show I've seen where I was like, oh, cool. It's actually entertaining and it's nice, and you're not having to deal with stupid shit. Yet, oh my God, that was the worst thing I've ever seen in the history of. I'm like, you assholes say this every Super Bowl. That's why you don't put, talking to Nimrods like this piece of shit. You're giving them validation when you give them attention. But I prefer a face-to-face conversation, but very few people have the balls to do that. They're in their own little world behind their little screen. And like Mike Tyson said, people have gotten too comfortable talking shit. in their little privacy. They need to get punched right in the fucking face for what they say to some people. And I'm a firm supporter of that. Some people need to get popped. The only reason why you don't see more of it now is because we live in a shitty country in terms of lawsuits. That's the only thing I hate about America. Like the number one thing I hate about America is this. What is it? What do they call it? Litigious culture of you look at somebody the wrong way, they'll sue your ass. Yeah, well, sue this.
Jeremy, good question. Do you think we're locked for the playoffs? I don't. I think we're pretty good for the playoffs.
Barring
yes,
an injury, yeah.
A lock, yeah. Barring injury, we are.
Yeah, we're going to play in nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the Lakers will falter to the point where they get to the playoffs. But again, it's tight right now. Minnesota's won 5 in a row, and they're the team in 6th place right now. So, yeah, you got to stay on your toes. If you don't stay on your toes in the Western Conference, you're going to fall in the standings. So we'll see what happens. The next game, though, Legend, is against San Antonio on Wednesday. Continuing on the NBA Cup, I believe it is the quarterfinals. So we'll see what happens there. Your thoughts, my friend? This NBA Cup is continuing, whether we like it or not.
Yep.
But for the Lakers, I'm assuming that Wemby will be back in the lineup for San Antonio when they beat up against the Lakers. It's just got to happen. There's just no avoiding it. I'm sure they'll be miraculously healthy by the time the Lakers face off against the Spurs.
I'm thinking he's going to play too, because the other day I saw somebody mention how he was ramping up. So I'm like, yeah, he's going to play Wednesday. So I'm thinking he's going to play. And I know a lot of people don't care for that, for these type of games and stuff, because it's not as beneficial as extra game like. But I will say when you win this game, it actually kind of benefits a little bit, because you're playing against your playoff opponents. So you get to get another round with them, get a feel for them. And then, hey, winner of this game, you play Oklahoma most likely. You have another chance to kind of get an idea of what they look like. And now you have a chance for Laker-wise to LeBron's here. See how you look. Now you got LeBron in the lineup. See how it looks this time around. So it kind of is a good benefit to it. But at the same time, I can understand why people don't too much care about it as much. But yeah, it look like it's doing pretty good though. It got teams taking it a little more serious. Too bad the All-Star game can't be that way.
That's for sure. Joe, the next game is against San Antonio. Not only the fact that the Spurs are right behind the Lakers in the Western Conference, but also the fact this is for the NBA Cup. I know we don't really care too much about the NBA Cup so far, because again, that's an extra game for the Lakers if they end up in the finals. But it is nice to see the Lakers continuing to win. We'll just see how it all lays itself out, because in the other bracket is Oklahoma City and Phoenix, Joe.
Well, I look at it like this. There was, and I always point to this because there's footage of it. The Bulls in 1998, I think it was 97. Their last year together, they played in France for some exhibition thing, and they won something over there. You know, sometimes it's your duty as an elite franchise to show, hey, you want to put us in this. Whatever the hell this is, well, we might as well win it. And that's how I look at it.
Even if it means an extra game for the Lakers?
I mean, Adam Silver, this is the funny thing, and no one has mentioned it, at least not from what I've heard. These guys are complaining about playing less games, right? We need to play less games. And Adam Silver's response the last few years is, oh yeah, let's figure out what to do. Oh, by the way, let's add another game for some of these players during the regular season, and then oh, by the way, here's another few games for this play-in. I'm like, we need to play less games, not more. But I believe, without hesitation, if you regionalize the schedule more, you wouldn't have as much issue with that. I really do. I think travel takes is a taxing thing. It really is. Phil Jackson, the reason why he said that when he was contemplating making a third return before Jim Buss ruined it, there was some discussion. I don't know if it was fake or whatever, but there was discussion where he wouldn't go on road games. And a lot of that is too because you have a man who is 6'9", 6'8", who is debilitated. Back is messed up. Hips are messed up. Knees are messed up from years of playing basketball and years of travel and years of getting older and basically bones that are decaying. And when you're going back and forth from warm to cold to cold to warm, getting in and out of planes, getting in and out of trucks and cars and SUVs, the body, me just driving, it jacks up your body. You're constantly like this. Hell, being in this seat jacks you up if you don't sit correctly. The body is in constant. It's in constant just abuse, and you have to be able to recover or make yourself recover or do things to make yourself recover. As far as what this is going to do to the Lakers, well, they are a younger team, so that's good, but LeBron isn't. And I just wish there wasn't. I just wish they didn't have it. That's always going to be there, but they're making money from it, Gerald. So otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it.
That's for sure, my friend. That's all about. That's what it's all about.
I think the gambling goes up a little bit.
It does.
I think the gambling, everything's geared towards gambling. By the way, Pete Rose it doesn't sound like he's ever going to come back. Matter of fact, there's more negative information about his situation. The ultimate in hypocrisy. I'm seeing they're looking at FanDuel as being a channel for a lot of these baseball teams, yet they suspended now passed away Pete Rose for gambling. I just can't. It just amazes me how hypocritical that is.
So once again, the Lakers win 112-108. They are second place in the Western Conference, 17-6. Legend. Before we head on out, wanted to go ahead and mention to everyone out there, has some thoughts for John Costa and Lakers Corner. Hopefully everything will be okay with him. He had an emergency he had to attend to, so he was not able to go ahead and be on the air with us tonight or do his 3-minute report. I was able to go ahead and record one for him instead. I also want to go ahead and mention before I get it over to Legend with I Got Next Sports Media, the Lakerholics crew may have had its final show ever.
Whoa, what?
Really? Why?
And if you saw on the show on Saturday, you'll understand what I mean because of the long-running feud between Jamie Sweet and Laker Tom. So if you get a chance, guys, go ahead and check it out. It's the Lakerholics weekend. So we'll see if I can get it back together, but it's going to take a lot of therapy, I think, in us to do that.
I know what you're talking about now. I watched the video.
At least Laker Tom didn't give Jamie the number 1 sign with his middle finger, and I'll just leave it at that. But of course, Legend, always great to have you here, my friend. But before we head on out, wanted to go ahead and hear what you're covering this week on I Got Next Sports Media. Please don't tell me it's the Xbox Bowl, and then a week later, the Frisco Bowl. Both of these games are being played in Frisco, Texas, Legend. Frisco, Texas. The Frisco Bowl. That's when you can't think of anything else or can't get a sponsor. You just call it the Frisco Bowl. Absolutely pathetic on the
city's not going to pay for that, though, right?
They might have to.
Well,
the naming rights. So, yeah.
Well, I could definitely say I will be talking a good bit of NBA tomorrow. I'm going to get ready to set up all that for tomorrow. And then I think I'm going to do a break-all show that is strictly college football. I have to talk about the Notre Dame situation, talk about how I get the feeling the college football committee going to have to do something about a lot of teams just didn't want to play in bowl game this year, so not sure what they're going to do about that situation. And then very last part is I just want to get Jared on for German part message about a good day to talk about this. And I want to talk about maybe there is too many bowl games. Just looking at how there's a lot of 5 and 7 teams playing, and it's kind of weird seeing that.
Yeah, the 6 and 6. Okay, it's what the 6 and 6 team plays the 7 and 5 team. Who wants to see that? Who wants to see that? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Why does Penn State deserve to go to a bowl game show? I don't get it. They had a terrible season. They fired their coach. Yet we're going to send them to the Pinstripe Bowl? Seriously? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous show. In front of about maybe 7,000 fans and then 40,000 seat stadium. It's just absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know. Maybe in the future they'll finally scrap these. It's going to depend on the money, guys.
But they've been doing it for decades.
Yeah, but things have changed this 12 team playoff thing it just started. So maybe over time it finally drowns it out. I don't know any other way to look at it.
Okay.
Stop watching it. I haven't watched a bowl game like that in I don't know how long. I'm a sports guy too.
I just watch my teams, the UNLV, USC, and then I don't watch any of that.
I'm just watching Georgia and Georgia Southern play. That's it.
When I explain the pro versus the amateur game, I always part of the fact that the skill sets are obviously much different. I always said I could never invest myself, especially in college football, in terms of a team, because of the amateurish type stuff that they would do. I just didn't get it. I didn't get, okay, so Michigan's going to play UCLA in the Rose Bowl because they're both Pac-10 at that time and Big Ten champs. But who's going to be the champion? Oh, well, they share it. What do you mean share? Share what? Who the hell shares a Super Bowl? No one. So when I was a kid growing up, I never understood that before I started understanding. College basketball is a little different, obviously. It's traditional in terms of there's a one champion type thing. But even in then, it's like, is Butler ever going to win a championship? Is Marquette ever going to win? Is Oregon State ever going to win? Not that I care for that stuff, really, but I'm like, it always seems like it's going to be UConn, Duke, Indiana when they were good, North Carolina, and then Arizona, and then UConn. Like, I'm Kentucky, sorry. And I'm like, okay, so some little Philly's going to get out of there and make a run, and then they're going to get waxed by one of the Power Fives, whoever the Power Five is at that time. So it's predictable, and then college football was kind of stupid. Baseball didn't follow collegiately, obviously. Hockey obviously is good. I wish I could have more time to watch hockey, but that's it. Like I felt like there was never a finale in those things.
All I'll say is this: if you are actually watching the Gasparilla Bowl, I'm not kidding you. Gasparilla Bowl. Gasparilla.
I think when I heard the grandfurniture.com bowl years ago,
you need to actually seriously look at yourself.
That was kind of maybe the breaking point for me. I'm like, wait a minute, there's a grandfurniture.com bowl. Grand Furniture. You're gonna put that on your ring when you win it? Grandfurniture.com bowl. Hell, I even think the arena and for the Lakers is stupid. Anything with a .com sounds stupid. Absolutely stupid. And it's funny because Philly has their logo on there too and on the floor. I'm like, I got to see crypto.com in Philly and in LA. How stupid is that? Acrisure Stadium after being Heinz Field, and you got the ketchup there and it's cool looking and all this stuff. Then you turn it into an insurance name on your stadium. Where's your pride? Where's the image? You want to be called the Acrisure Stadium? That's just stupid. You didn't see Jerry Jones, as business savvy as he is. What do they call? It's still Cowboy Stadium, isn't it? It's still Yankee Stadium, isn't it? It's still Dodger Stadium, isn't it? How much more money do you need? Seriously. Did they even get $700 million for the crypto.com logo, or did they get paid in crypto? Because if you look at crypto's numbers right now, yeah, it ain't looking good. It's dog shit.
Tony says he wants the Staples. Well, you know what? Buy more office supplies at Staples, and you might get it back. That's how you get Staples. Yeah, because that's Staples couldn't afford keeping their name on the logo for Staples Center. So that tells you all you need to know about where office supplies are at as far as people buying it from Amazon and everywhere else. So,
sports baby, your head is up.
Very big shout out to you though. Thanks for helping me out earlier because I was watching FNAF 2 at the theater and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to turn on the game on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. So thank you for getting my back earlier today. Truly appreciate it. And all of our backs are as far as we've got John's back as far as that's concerned. And our thoughts again are with John Costa. I know that he's not going through some stuff right now. He's going through some stuff right now, so I'm hoping things will work out for him. So please say your prayers and thoughts with him, and hopefully he'll be back soon with us and soon doing his reports going forward. I know he did one with you, Joe. Any secrets or little tidbits you want to let out about your
Well, of course, the day we were ready to go, my internet with Frontier went out for 18 hours. So I had to do it over my phone through Wi-Fi. I haven't had a chance to hear the show. You did say the audio was a little iffy, but towards the end, right after about an hour, our connection kind of started getting weird. Then we had to come back. But I enjoyed the line of questioning. I think a lot of times when there's a question outline, I think it's more fun to answer questions that people want to know, and it was fun. I actually enjoy the non-visual shows better than I do the visual shows. Maybe it's because of the radio that I've done in the past, the little radio that I've done. I've never done anything that paid me, but I feel like the voice is. I think I enjoy listening to the voice more than I enjoy looking at the face. But that's just me. I don't like pictures. I don't like, and I struggle with that too, because pictures are a beautiful thing to have a time stamp on things with your kids, with your friends. I just don't like pictures. I don't like my face in places. I don't. I like to have a little bit of like mystery. That's just kind of how that works in my head. And I feel like when I do the non-visual shows, I feel like I do my best work.
Well, there you have it. But go ahead and catch Joe Soro. Any Joe Soro experiments on the?
Yes, it's very, very, very likely I will be doing one tomorrow to talk about. And there's going to be some themes coming, guys. So those of you who obviously love Laker talk, love Dodger talk, I am going to start pressing more of football. I haven't had a chance to really go full throttle on the Steelers stuff, but I'm going to start promoting that, and the themes are going to start dictating that. I'm not going to say I won't veer off a little bit if you have some of the regulars talking, but there is going to be more theme shows for the Dodgers, the Lakers, and the Steelers. And then obviously I'll have a experiment where it's the smorgasbord of everything. And then there's also going to be a Laker Dodger show. Props to my boy Drip Show, who's already put the art together for me. So you guys will get a chance to see the full arsenal of that, and some of you are gonna be surprised at how much football I know versus everything else. Football is my love, by the way, guys. Football is my love in my soul. I wanted to play football my whole life. I still miss it. I still wish I could play it, and it's everything I am. Those of you who love soccer out in Australia and in Europe, football is like that for me. Football as an American football. So I'm looking forward to the stretch run here in the NFL to see what things are going to play out, how things are going to play out. And obviously the Steelers winning today was fun. I actually predicted that they would win because usually they win these kind of games, especially when Baltimore is the opponent. They just seem to have their number when they're down and out. They play Baltimore and they kind of bust out of it. And then it's no longer a hidden secret, and really never was. The Steelers own Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy can't do shit usually with against the, and he won last year. He won both games, but he just struggles against the Steelers. And he might have a little bit more of an excuse this year. I think he's really injured. Like there's a problem where he can't play really well. But the problem with Lamar Jackson is it's still that he can't adapt to change very well. He can play like Lamar can, but if he can't play like Lamar, he doesn't adjust. And that's been kind of his issue in terms of getting to that next level of getting to a Super Bowl and winning the bigger games. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow.
Tomorrow also as well, in the morning, I'll have my Pop Culture Cosmos with my good friend Josh Peterson. We'll go ahead and put it out there as soon as possible for everyone on audio. But we'll be covering the success of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I have seen it. I have lived through it. And I will explain about it, I guess, tomorrow morning. Plus, we'll cover the latest news and trends, including the big possible acquisition by Netflix of Warner Brothers. We'll spend $80+ billion later. So we'll see if that's going to fly, and our general thoughts on whether or not it's going to pass through the right places for it to get through. So we'll go ahead and discuss that tomorrow. And then I also will, for our members, $2.99 a month, I'll have another NBA observations. My latest one that is available now is with Legend. So go ahead and catch the one with Legend. But tomorrow I will have one with Caleb Ponce, and I will post that first for our members coming up tomorrow as well. Xboxes, you would die for them, bro. Oh, there. He's going back and forth with Vari. What do you know? The Australians going back at it once again. So, yes. Always a great place to be. This community is just so interesting to see. The communication between Vari and Xbox, the communication between Laker Tom and Jamie Sweet. Yeah, absolutely. Please go ahead and check out that Lakerholic show. I am told you'll be glad you did. Yeah. The end of the Lakerholics may be near after that one. We'll see. We'll see if we'll get some holiday reconciliation going between those two. But again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Legend, any last thoughts before we head on out?
Keep on winning. That's what I would say for Laker Nations. Keep winning. Like Gerald said earlier, the West is packed, and I just looked at that standard a few minutes ago.
Golden State's now back above 500. Your Warriors are back above 500
too. I missed that game today because I'm watching Notre Dame take over the spotlight on everything. But I got to catch up on my Warriors today. But have a good night, everybody. And all right, George, let's get this title.
Oh, there you go. He's calling it right now. What a game, though, between Indiana and Ohio State, Joe. That was a slobber knocker, to say the least.
Yeah, the Ohio State. Ryan Day just has Ryan Day has. He's like Tomlin in that the only problem with Tomlin is he has 3 or 4 of those a year. Ryan Day has a game every year, and more often than not, it's usually against Michigan. But this year, it was against Indiana, where he does not know how to call a play the right way in the right moment. I don't know what it is. And the defense, I feel bad for the defense. The defense has been stout the entire year. Even in the Indiana game, keeping Mendoza relatively pedestrian as much as you can. He's going to win the Heisman. He's going to be the first pick in this year's NBA. This year's NFL draft. It's like, dude, I don't get it. I just don't get why he can't figure out how to make the right calls when they start getting into the red zone. Don't complicate it. Don't think too much, right? I always remember Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh, both Super Bowls. You have Frank Gore running everyone's ass over in that game. You could see it. I can't figure out. I know it's pressure. I know it's Super Bowl and all that, but you're paid to know this. You have other people that should be telling you this. The Ravens were done. They were taxed. They were ready to make excuses because that was the Super Bowl where the lights went out at the Superdome. I'm like, give the ball to Gore and use Colin Kaepernick. I couldn't believe they didn't run the option twice during that last series. What would they have done? Ray Lewis wouldn't have caught up to Colin Kaepernick. He was done too. Ed Reed was done. Everyone was done. They were taxed. Make them think if Colin is going to get the ball and he's got Frank Gore who's destroying this team. He had an MVP waiting for him if they had scored that touchdown. You give it to him if they commit to the quarterback. If not, you take it, score a touchdown, game is over. You win the Super Bowl. And then, of course, Seattle. Immortality was 1 yard away. All you had to do was go, Skittles. Go get your Skittles, baby. Go. It's your game. They were done. The New England Patriots, Tom Brady, you look at Tom Brady before that play, he was done. He's like, I just lost my Super Bowl. And I guarantee you this, guys, had they lost that Super Bowl, that dynasty would have ended probably at that offseason.
Mm-hmm.
See, Pete Carroll ruined so many things because he overthought. Jim Harbaugh, overthought. Ryan Day keeps overthinking in the red zone. You are Ohio State, man. You have destroyed everybody all year. Run the ball. Use your head. But I'm not the coach. I'm not doing that. Maybe it's harder than I'm saying it is, but I saw Nick Saban make the calls the right way, and I know it's Nick Saban, but Bill Belichick, hand it off. He would hand it off. Make sure you make your blocks. Hand it off. You're going to get 3 or 4 yards. Do your job, right? I don't know. It's weird. It was weird. I was watching that game, and I didn't know who to cheer for. And my only thing now is if for some reason, somehow, Ohio State gets past Georgia, and that's really, to me, is what's likely going to be the national championship game. I think it's going to be Georgia and Ohio State, because I think if Ohio State ends up getting to the national title game and meets in Indiana, they're going to beat Indiana. And, of course, if Georgia meets Indiana in the title game, I can't it's going to be very hard for me to go against anything that's not SEC when they're on the top of their game, especially Kirby Smart. Again, Kirby Smart has lived up to his name as well.
Good win, Tony, for your Green Bay Packers today as they win 28-21 over the Chicago Bears. So,
and props to Jeff Kent. I've not ever been a Jeff Kent fan, but props to him. It's actually been overdue that he made the Hall of Fame in baseball. But I actually do like how baseball does their voting in Hall of Fame. They truly put in 99% of the time the best players. I'm still in complete amazement that Scott Rowland is a Hall of Famer. That one has been the only one that I can remember that was weird. That one and Tim Raines. But Jeff Kent finally got in. This is a second baseman that's leading all second basemen in the history of baseball in home runs, RBIs. So props to him. Of course, the usual suspects all got denied. And I don't see, if the seniors aren't going to do it, I don't see them ever getting in. So that's kind of where that is. And then, of course, I want to congratulate the Kansas City Chiefs for an amazing run. It's looking like they're very likely, unless some miracle happens right now, looking like they're finally going to miss the playoffs.
And on that note, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers win 112-108. Again, 17-6 on the season, second place in the Western Conference. Their next game is Wednesday as they continue on in the NBA Cup. If you have any questions for us, just comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Also follow us wherever you get your social media. Give a shout out to John Costa in Lakers Corner. Please, that would really help him out at times like this. Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Joe Soro at the Joe Soro Experiment. Great to have everyone here. Looking forward to catching up with you guys with some stuff I got coming up tomorrow. And this week is going to be a big week for the Lakers. Will they continue on in the NBA Cup? We'll find out. Joe, you were going to say something?
No, I was just sending a message to
no
the
worries,
patrons.
no worries. Yes. No Steve Garvey as well. That would piss me off to no end. But all right.
I as much as we love Fernando in Dodgerland, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't. I can't. I don't think Fernando is a Hall of Famer.
I think Garvey is, but that's just me. I'm all alone on an island on that one.
I think there's some merit there, but the thing is with me is, for let's say I'm going to use Fernando for now because we're talking about him. 173 and 153 just doesn't
Yeah.
This is when that wins mattered back in the day. He's won all the great awards, of course. He's won Rookie of the Year. He's won a Cy Young. He's won a couple championships. He's won a Gold Glove and a couple of Silver Sluggers. But Hall of Fame is supposed to be for the elite of the elite. I can't put a guy in that's only 20 games over 500 in the win and loss column, and his ERA is what 3.5. I mean, it's not bad, but I can't do it. I can't. I'll put it in perspective here. From his last decade of pitching, he's got like a 0, 2, 2, 13, 8, 1, 8, 0. He had a good first half, and that's kind of the problem with Don Mattingly too. He had a Hall of Fame career for like 5 years, but then everything else was kind of normal. You need to have a little bit more in baseball. Baseball, there's more numbers that do factor into things than accomplishment a lot of times, because baseball is so difficult to control as a singular player. It's just impossible. That's why what's going on with Ohtani now with the Dodgers is so unique. This guy is the best player on the planet, and he's on the largest stage year in, year out, at least the last 2 years that he's been there. That doesn't happen. Don Mattingly wasn't in the ALCSs every year and the World Series every year. Barry Bonds wasn't in the NLCS and World Series every year. What's going to set Ohtani apart from anyone other than Babe Ruth is the fact that he's at the biggest stage on top of that and producing. So much so that this guy goes this guy affects the game, yet doesn't hit a home run or get a hit, yet is being criticized. I'm like, you motherfuckers walked him and it cost you a run. He had an effect on that. You walked him, and then Mookie Betts, pressure was on Mookie Betts to not walk him or not get a hit out. Like, baseball is so much more than getting a hit. You could see a guy affect the game just on one hit and one play in the field. If you don't believe me, go watch Game 7. Won a championship because of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think they made the right call. I think the voting today was, in my view, dead on. I would have said maybe Dale Murphy getting in and Donnie baseball. I wouldn't have been upset. I would have said, okay, sure. I think Dale Murphy has something to say. 2 MVPs. When you win multiple MVPs in your era, that's a pretty big number. Multiple MVPs, back-to-back MVPs. Problem is the Braves really sucked in the 80s. I mean, it was bad. They were like the Green Bay Packers in the 80s. You don't see any footage of the 80s other than Lynn Dickey. Like, that's the only guy I remember from the 80s with the Packers. Like, not one damn thing that's memorable in the 80s with the Packers. And you can't remember anything with the Braves other than Dale Murphy. But again, congrats to those guys. And again, I hope God, I feel so bad for Daniel Jones. He finally got out of that hellhole in New York. They're having success in Indianapolis. The pressure's off him, and then all of a sudden he's just standing there. All of a sudden, just tragic.
All I'll say is I think Garvey has the resume, but that's just me. And I'll leave it at that. Once again, though, it is the Lakers winning 112-108. We'll be back tomorrow with an NBA observations for our members. That'll drop on Tuesday for everyone else. But looking forward to going ahead and calling the game on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Shout out to El Rosto and Tuff for being on stage during the game. Hopefully you will be part of what we're doing on Wednesday as the Lakers meet up against the Spurs. So for Legend from I Got Next Sports Media, for Joe Sorrell from the Joe Sorrell Experiment, it's Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this thing, and we'll be back this week. Whether it's the Joe Sorrell Experiment, I Got Next Sports Media, or me, the Lakers Fast Break, we'll be back for more of the Lakers, the NBA, and good basketball talk right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Close us out, Joe. I think you need to close us out.
Good night. Good fight.